Hi everyone, welcome in on the live. It has been a few weeks since I did a live because I had a video last week or the week before, and last week I had a video last week, and the week before I should have done a live, but I couldn't find the time for it. So here we are with another live, and it's going to be a fun one where we're going to make these little candles. Halloween candles. I love Halloween crafts, so when it's October it sure is Halloween all over. And we don't even really celebrate Halloween here in the Netherlands, but it's just my favorite craft theme. So it's a really simple little gift to make. It involves electronic tealight. As you might have seen on the screen, I also noted that you only use electronic tealights or candles for this. So no real candles, because that could be really dangerous. And I have these glass tealight holders. They are really cheap. So with a few decorations, it's really a fun little gift, or even just a decoration for yourself. But I'm going to make a few, so I have a few gifts to give to my friends and family. So I'm going to move these over, because they look a bit weird from the top. And I'm starting with the coloring right away. I already stamped and die cut all of my images. I placed them back with some purple tape. That's just because it's convenient for me to already have die cut the things when I'm going live, so that saves some time. But if you would like to do this at home, you can sure do that too. And I also stamped out the ghosts. The ghosts are from the Booyah set. Let me pick it out of the stamp pocket. So that's this set with a lot of different things you can use for the ghosts. So you can make a bat, a cat, a pirate, a witch, Frankenstein monster, and I think this is Mrs. Frankenstein or something. So you can combine all these things to dress them up. But what I did is also I combined it with the fox from Really High Five. So let me take that out of the pocket. So that is this one. So I used the fox tail to make the tail for this little fox ghost, and I just reused the hat that you would use for the bat costume. And when you give it a little different coloring and you add the tail of the fox, you can create a little fox. So we're going to do that in this live too. And for the message on the little tea holder, this is from this sentiment is from the How You Been Candy Corn add-on set. We will be making those, or at least I already made those sentiment pieces, but I will show you how I did that. But here is the stamp set already, so you already know that. Also, thanks Jordi for linking all the product pages to the lawnfawn site. And let me see, I stamped these with lawnfawn jet black ink. The faces from the ghost I also did with lawnfawn jet black ink, but the outline of the ghost I did with Memento London Fog. That's one of the darker grays from Memento. I love to stamp the ghosts in a different color than black, just to give them a little more of a ghost feel to it. So let me start with coloring the ghosts. I do those with all kind of different colors normally. I normally do them in gray or any light pastel color. For this one I chose the N grays because those match with the outline really well. So the N1, the N0 and the colorless blender. And I'm going to show you how I do the ghosts. So I first do the little shadowy outline. Then I'm going to the N0 and I'm going to blend it out just a little. And then I'm taking my colorless blender and I'm blending out that edge of the N0. And now it looks a little bit weird because the paper is wet from the alcohol. So the colorless blender is obviously colorless, so it just looks wet. So we have to wait for a minute or so to let it dry. Let me look at the chat for a moment. Hi everyone. Spooky season is here. Definitely is. I'm making Halloween cards all year, but in October I'm making more. Norma says, I need to order that Booyah set. It's adorable. Yes, it really is super adorable. I have it for years now, and it's one of my favorite Halloween sets because it's so fun to add the ghost to all kind of different scenes you can make with lawnfawn supplies. So you don't need much more than this set to create anything Halloween. You can add these in all kind of different scenes, and you can slap on a Halloween sentiment and you're all done for Halloween cards. Well, I'm going to go back in. It already looks really nice. So I'm doing those shadow edges again with the N1. And I'm blending it out again because I just want it a little bit darker than before. So I'm doing 2 layers. I think it's better than moving up a number, so the N2 might work, but it might be too dark. I don't have the N2, so 2 times the N1 sounds a little better. And I'm adding some blushy cheeks. This is my favorite one for the blushy cheeks. So the R21. And now we're at it, I'm going to do the highlights right away. I use my Uniball Signo white gel pen. And I'm just doing one big highlight area over here and one over here. And I'm adding a few dots here. They might disappear under the hats they're going to get, but this gives you an idea how you can color them and highlight them when you're not using any of the costumes. So I'm going to do that real quick for all the other ghosts. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them while I'm quickly coloring these. I thought of doing these, preparing these beforehand, but I figured since some people really like to see how I color, that this is a nice moment to see the coloring of the ghost multiple times, and also to just chat with you for a little. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and I will do my best to answer them. I think the tealight holders I got are from IKEA, but they are from years ago, so they might be out of the stores now. But it's also a thing that they still might have, so I don't know. I do know that they are really cheap, and the electronic tea lights are also from IKEA. I don't know if they are still available, but you can buy those in many places. But IKEA is where I got them years ago, and they're really not that expensive as well. So it's a really nice, a fun little gift to make, even if you're on a budget. You can make quite a few with one package of the tea light holders and one package of the electronic tea lights. And the rest is a little bit of paper and some acetate. Somebody in chat asked me if they can ask questions in Dutch, and I'm going to say that in Dutch as well for a moment. Hoi Jacqueline, je kan natuurlijk gewoon de vragen stellen in het Nederlands. Ik zal ze dan in het Engels beantwoorden. Mocht je daar dan toch iets niet in snappen, dan geef het even aan. Dan probeer ik het te vertalen of vraag ik je doorgeven. Sorry, I'm back for the English people. I was just telling that you could always ask questions in Dutch as well, and that I will answer them in English, and if there are still questions I will translate them, or Jordi will do that for me. Do you have luck with refilling your Copics, or do you buy a new Copic? No, I do buy the refill inks and I refill them. It's not that hard to do. If you are having trouble with refilling them, you can watch some YouTube tutorials on how to do it. It's really simple to do so. And in the long term, it's really much cheaper than buying a new marker. So the ghosts are almost done, so they're really quick. I sometimes just do the N0 on the edge, and then I blend those out with the colorless blender. But I wanted to try a little darker ghost for this. On which paper do you stamp? It's a really smooth paper. It's a laser printer paper. It's really heavy paper as well. And you can buy it, it's from Pro Design, and you can buy it on 123inkt.nl. It's not a sponsor, but that's where I found it. So I'm adding all the little blushy cheeks. Let me put these markers away. And I want to color the mouth of the ghost. This ghost. Just a really quick and simple 2-color blend. That's what I mostly do anyway, 2-color blends. And then I'm going to highlight all the ghosts. Let me see. It's a bit confusing when they are mirrored images all of a sudden. So that are all the ghosts all done. I'm going to leave them in the paper for a bit, and I'm going to continue with these costume bits. I think I'm going to make 5 more candles. So we're doing the fox, the bat, the cat, the pirate, and the Frankenstein, because we already have the little witch and the other one. And the fox is something that I want to show you how I did that. Let me quickly look at my color chart. So these are my favorite colors to color in the fox. So from this fox we only have to color the tail because we don't need the rest. I'm going to cut that off. And these 2 markers don't really blend like other markers do. Other colors, I have to say, because the markers do blend. But for the fox, it's really pretty that it's sort of, yeah, this effect that it gives. So is a really subtle coloring. So these colors lay apart way too far on the color chart. I can show you the hex chart that I'm using. So normally you would blend colors that will look almost similar, like for example these 2 are really similar and they are next to each other, so they blend really well. And this is the color I'm using and this is the color I'm using, and as you can see it really differs too much. But if you color it this way, it still looks really fun. And for the tip of the tail, I'm going to use just a cream color. What color are you using for the fox? That's E08 and YR24. Now I have to color the little ears. So the fox is done. We're going to highlight it later. I'm going to highlight everything at once. Let's do the kitty next. Which color I'm going to use for that? I think I'm going to use some brown. I like these browns for critters as well. It's E77 and E71. Such a genius idea to pair the foxtail with the ears. Thanks so much, Sophie. I was looking at the set and I was figuring out if I could do a different costume using things from other sets. And I came to the conclusion that the fox is really fun to make and easy to make. These colors are a little bit far apart as well, so the E71 is a little bit too light to blend right away with the darker color. But when I do it twice and I blend it out, it's looking good. If you are struggling with Copic colors and which markers go together, I would really recommend to get the Hex Chart. It's from Sandy Elnock. You can Google that. And it costs a few dollars, but you get a colored in version. So you colors on screens and from the printer are always off from reality. So you can't really look at the colors and go like, oh, that's a pretty color, I want to have that, I want to buy that. But you can look at it and look at colors you do have and compare them, and you might get an impression which colors are fun to buy. Also, it really helps you get a blank hex chart, so all the hexes I didn't color in are the markers I don't have, and the other ones I colored in, and you can really match the colors really well. So if they are next to each other, they are supposed to blend really well. I'm not always agreeing on that, but most in general it's the case. But it also gives you a little insight on the colors, so which colors you have and which colors you want to use. And also sometimes you get new combinations you didn't figure out before. So that's really something that I would suggest getting. I want to color in the inside of the ears with an even lighter brown. That's the E70, and that one really is close to the 71. that's everything for the little kitty. And we're going to do the bats with the bat wings. Let me quickly peek at a fun color for that. I think I'm going to use my favorite purple combo, which is the V17 and the V15. I have to say those are together on the Hex Chart, and I always use them together as well, but they are very different to each other, but they work really well. You might have to color the area 2 times as well, but that's okay. So as you can see, they do blend, but they don't blend really super well. So I just go back in and I'm blending that out once again. And I think now it's pretty okay. Let's also do the little wings. So again, those colors don't really blend really well, so I'm going back in with the other one. And then I just have to color in the inside of the ears. I'm going to pick a lighter purple for that, and that's the V12 with V1. Well, let's move on to the pirate, because the hook is here. I'm going to use this blue greenish color. It was a bit of a struggle to find the matching color for this one. And the initial color of this marker changes a little bit when you blend it out with the, so it's the BG72 with B52, and it becomes a little bit more of a blue because of this blender color. Let me see how I want to color this. Jacqueline says that I'm coloring it looks like I'm doing it really easily. She is just started coloring and she thinks it's hard. Well, it takes a little bit of practice, but the Hex Chart can really help if you have Copics to find the right color combinations, and also watching videos where people color. I do that in almost all of my videos, so you can check those out if you like, and you can learn from that. And if you have markers that are used in a video, it's good to try those out. But don't stress out if you don't have the exact colors. Just find a match within the markers you have. And the right paper is really something you have to look into as well. Because if you have wrong paper, it doesn't really color and blend good as well. And also that's something that's a personal preference as well. So a lot of people are using Nina paper, and I don't really like that paper. It's not that I'm disliking it, but I'm not really a huge fan either. Let me take a little darker color. Sometimes I can't find the right color on my card, then I just can't find the right number, and I'm overlooking it 100 times. Here it is. And let me give a little bit of color to the hook. I'm using the N0 again. And I'm not bothering blending it with a different color. It's such a small area. Let's move on to the Frankenstein hat. I think we're going to use the W grays. Those are a little bit of a warmer brown-ish grays. So I'm using the W7 and the W6. So as you can see, that's really quick and easy. Just the little bolts on the side, and I'm going to use the N colors again, but a little darker. So the N5 with the N3. And I think I'm done with that. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outfits for 5 ghosts. Let me first pick out, oh no, let me first do the highlights real quick. I want to say, let me pick out which ghost we're going to use for the Frankenstein monster, because in the Booyah set are some things you can stamp on the ghost as well. So the Frankenstein monster has a little scar you can stamp, and we can also do little whiskers for the cat. So with the highlights I try to go in the roundness of things, and I always do a line and a little dot, and sometimes it's just a little dot. Excuse me. Because that's enough to in the small areas to have a little dot there, like a sort of mini highlight. I think that was everything, so let me put away my highlights pen and some markers I've on my desk. I have to keep my area clean because I don't have a very big desk. So let us pick out a ghost for the Frankenstein. I'm going for that one because its face really is fun with that. So this is the little scar, and let me check placement for the little spider stamp fell off my set. And the whiskers for the cat, and I think that's all I'm going to use. And I normally stamp images with my Misty because my paper is it's better to stamp it multiple times, but it's a really small accent, so I can do that with a acrylic block. And if it isn't really solid, that doesn't really matter that much. I quickly have to moisten my chamois. So I can clean off my stamp. I'm putting that back on the set right away because it's such a tiny stamp, it will get lost otherwise. And the whiskers, let's do those on this ghost. That's really adorable. So, cleaning off that stamp, taking it off my block, putting it back on the sheet, and I'm putting away my ink pad. And now I can take everything out of the paper. And we're going to take all the other colored images. It might be easier to take off the purple tape. So that are the images we are using now. And let's assemble the ghost first before we're continuing with the candles. I use my tweezers to have a little bit more control, and my little glue bottle. This is for the bats, so let's use the Vampire Fangs Ghost. I'm using just a little glue is enough. Tiny wings. Marianne says, love that you used gray for stamping the ghost, so cute. Hi Marianne, and also thank you. I really like to stamp those in a different color than black, just to make them more ghost-like. So the Frankenstein. I think it looks cute when it's really low on his head. The little kitty. I think that's cute. Which one is the pirates? I think I'm doing this one. So we're adding the eye patch. And the little pirate hats. And his hook. It's really so cute to set. And now we're going to do one of these for the fox. Taking my little scissors. And I'm just cutting off the tail. With just a little bit of room to add some glue. I'm just checking how I would like the tail to be before I press it down. And his little hat. So again, this little hat is the same as from the bat, but just with different colors. And the tail is from the really high 5 sets. It's from the fox that's in the set. So those coats are done. Let me put away my glue. Now to the candles. So I have these electronic candles. And they are from IKEA. I don't know if they still have them, but you can check that out. I've made these little rounds that go on top, as you can see. I will show you how I did that. And I have this these strips of paper from the matching pattern paper. So this is the Creative Craft Lab paper pad Trick or Treats. In the Netherlands, you can buy that at every store that sells Studio Light. It's from Creative Craft Lab, but that's from Studio Light. And I think you can also buy this on Simon Says Stamp in the USA. So it's a really cute little pattern paper block with different double-sided patterns. I don't really have Halloween paper, I only have this pad, and it's really perfect for this. So I picked everything in although I'm going to gift these candles, so they're not going to be next to each other, I decided to match the paper, so I took everything a little orange red-ish with the same color scheme. So on these strips I used some score tape, and I'm going to take my score tape and some acetate. So I have cut these acetate strips. I use those in things like the scallop box from lawnfawn to make things float in the air. So if you attach this to the image, you can attach this to the box, and it has a really fun effect. But I'm going to use these for the ghost as well. I need to cut off a little piece. So what I'm doing first is I'm taking my strip with the score tape and I'm peeling that off the paper backing. And these strips are just as wide as the paper is long. So if you have the paper pad, it's just a strip like this. So I cut these in different strips. It is a little too long for the candle, but you can cut a piece off or just wrap it around. That's what I'm doing to make it easier. And I made the strips as high as the candle is, and you can measure that yourself, because it might differ from the candles I have. So you can just measure that and cut those. And then I'm sure I'm making sure that I align those with the bottom of the candle. And when I'm getting to the point that I'm back at the piece I already did, I'm checking if I line it up with the top really well. And then we have this little end piece, and I'm not sticking that down right away. I'm first taking my plastic, my acetate strip, taking a piece of score tape, and I'm peeling the backing off. And then I'm aligning my ghost on it. Let me check. And then I just cut a little piece off because I want it a little more closer to the candle. Then I stick it in between. And I push down the paper, and before I push it down all the way, I'm checking in that my acetate is straight. And then the actual candle is done. The wraparound, I mean. So then we have these discs that go on top. And I did that with 2 circle dies, a bigger one that fits the top. It almost fits the top, but that's okay. As you can see, it has a little bit of room, but I didn't have a different die, and I think this is fine. So you can check your stash to see what you have lying around. And I have a little tiny one, and I added some purple tape to have them stuck together so they're exactly in the middle and that all the pieces are the same. And I just use this to cut different circles. And now I'm flipping that over, taking some score tape, because score tape really sticks well, and I'm sticking it on, and I'm just folding that. And it looks a little bit weird and chunky, but when you are going to remove the backing, you will see the backing will come off. And you can press it down on the candle. If I can get the beginning of the... Here it is. So as you can see, with a little bit of effort, you can pull that off. And carefully drop it on your candle, press it down, and now the whole candle is done. So we're going to do these for all the ghosts. So again, I have a strip of paper with some score tape, taking off the backing, aligning it with the bottom, again, if you want, you can cut it off if you don't want the overlap. And now I'm checking the top. Again, taking a little bit of acetate, a piece of score tape that I'm adding to the top of the acetate. Taking off the backing, taking a ghost, cutting off a little bit of the acetate strip, and I check with my other candle. It doesn't have to be exact, but just to see if it's far enough. Making sure it's straight, and then I'm gluing that down. Looking for a matching circle. Taking my score tape again. And I'm just sticking that down, folding it. Maybe with my tweezers I'm getting the backing off easier. Carefully pulling that backing off. And then I can drop it in, making sure it's centered. Pressing that down, and the next candle is done. So I'm doing 3 more candles. If you have questions, please ask me. I'm here to answer those as well while I'm doing the other candles. I also have a question for you all. Normally I did my lives an hour earlier, and I was wondering if this is a great time for you, or that the earlier time was better, or that you might want it later even. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but I got some requests from Dutch people. It's normally at 7 in the evening, my local time. And for some Dutch people it was too early on the evening to join. So they asked me if I could try and do it an hour later. So I'm just trying that out if I like that and if you guys like that. So let me know if you think this is a good time for you, or that the other time was better, or that it doesn't really matter to you which time it is. I can also try and go a little later, but that would be like 9 in the evening. So this is the I have to do the top, so this is the striped paper. So in general 7 or 8 is a good time for me to start. So that 7 is the time that I did earlier with my previous lives, and 8 is the time I started today. It's difficult to please everyone with that. So dropping in the circle, pressing it down, and the other candle is done. 2 more to go. We have a pattern paper we didn't use yet, the one with the little stars. Sophie says, I like the hour early, but whatever time works better for you, I'll be watching. Ah, that's so sweet. I'm just checking with you guys which time works for you, which you prefer, and I will see on which time I can please the most people. So just a little question for you all. And a little star top. Jacqueline says that she can do all night. That's great to hear, Jacqueline. Marianne says, do you celebrate Halloween in the Netherlands? Not really. We have the last few years, we have some Halloween decoration in the stores, and there are some areas where from the neighborhood board, as you might say that, they organize a little Halloween tour for the kids to pick up some candy, but it's not really a thing over here. In Sweden it's become quite popular the past 10 to 15 years. Yeah, they are doing things with it, but it's not that Dutch people really care that much about it. I do like all the Halloween crafts, and I don't do much decoration myself, but I do like those decoration. I also like those crafty TikTok videos where they make giant Halloween decorations for in the yard. Those are always really amazing, like a gigantic spider or a skeleton or spider webs on your house. It's really fun. Same here, love making Halloween cards. Yeah, it's so much fun. I don't know what it is about it. I think that's in scene making and card making, there's so much freedom in general, but I think that Halloween just gives you so much fun things and color schemes that you might skip when you're making a different themed card, maybe. Oh, let me cut off a piece. And in the Netherlands we also have Sint Maarten, which is something that's more from the north of the Netherlands, and I'm in the south, so I'm not really familiar with it. But it's some kind of the same thing they do, like they go doors to doors for candy, and I think songs are included, and a homemade light. I don't know what's the English name for it, but you craft a little thing where you can carry a tea light in, and you go door to door to sing and get some candy. But that's really something from the north. I'm not really familiar with it, and that's in the beginning of November. We've been trying to figure out some fun decorations for the yard since we know we'll be having trick-and-treaters. Yeah, that's really fun to do so. You can check out some TikTok videos maybe. There are quite a few where they make fun decorations. Since it originated in Ireland, it's always been celebrated here. Oh, that's fun, Sophie. But I think it differs from the USA Halloween, or is it the same? Marianne, if it doesn't rain on the night, hanging some paper beds and decor from the trees or roofs could be cute. Yeah, some paper beds, that's really cute. So, this is the last candle. Let me put away these things. So, now I have these sentiment pieces. So I used a hexagon die that I found in my stash that I thought that fit the Happy Halloween really well, and it isn't too big when it's in front of the candle, but it blocks the actual light of the candle just a little bit, so it really looks cute altogether. And I cut those off some colored paper, some colored cardstock. And what I did is made a little template. So I cut a piece of paper and I cut one of the hexagons, put a little piece of purple tape, and then I could pop in these hexagons, and this thing was in my MISTI. So the little template was in my MISTI. And I popped these in. And then I had the stamp already on my MISTI door, so I can stamp those. I did some heat embossing, so I did some baby powder on the paper first, then ink up the stamp, close it, and I sprinkled on the embossing powder right away and leave it to the side till they are all done, and then I could use the heat gun to melt the powder. So that's how I did these. And on the back I did some score tape as well. So I'm peeling that off. So these little candles are almost done. Marianne says, thanks for the idea, Sophie. Yeah, that's really a fun thing to do. So I have these glass tealight holders. I'm almost done with my live, guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm here to answer them now that I'm still live. If you have any questions later on, you can always check out my Instagram page or Facebook page and ask it there, or leave a comment on this video and I will get back to you. You can also find me anywhere else to ask me the question, but those are the most convenient ways. So I peel off that score tape, and I'm not putting it all the way to the bottom of the tea light. And that's it. That's everything to it. So it's really fun and easy and quick, and it's a fun little gift. And what I was thinking is that you could stick a little foam tape or something. Let me try that if it works. I tried it with a glue dot, but that didn't work. But just stick in some foam tape to let the candle stick to the bottom, so it's easier to gift it to people, so you don't have something loose in there. I have to check out that's in the right spot. No, that doesn't really stick, so I have to figure out something for that. But you could maybe roll up a little ball of tape or something that you can stuck these in, or maybe you have some organza bags or something that you can stick these in to give them to people. So let me do the other sentiment thingies. Wonderful life, Peter. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much for being here. I really enjoy crafting with you guys and answer questions and chat with you. Also, if you stick it to the bottom, it will be harder to change the battery. Yeah, but something like a glue dot or some foam tape, it will be temporary, so that might work. You don't have to use something permanent. That's a good point. Thank you for a fun tutorial. I can't wait to make some. Please post them somewhere on Facebook, like the Lawnfawn Addicts group. It's a really big group where a lot of lawnfawn fans are, and tag me in it so I can see what you made. I really love to see when people get inspired by things I make, and I love to see that they what they made. They are so neat, Peter. Very unique. Thank you, Marcy. I had so much fun figuring these out, and they're really simple, and that's what's really fun to make as gifts. So yeah, that's really fun. When you're making multiples of things, it doesn't have to be very super fancy, just some details on it, like the paper on the side and on the top, and heat embossing the sentiment makes it look really nice, and it's not really hard for you to do, so you can do those in batches and have these great little gifts. So let me pick the other ones we have. So this looks a little bit weird from the top, I know, but when I will be cleaning this, so now I can show them one by one. So these gifts are done, so I'm almost done with the live. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And like I said before, if you have questions after, just leave a comment or find me somewhere on social media. If you don't follow or are subscribed to my channel yet, you can do so clicking on the subscribe button. It's free to do so, and you support my channel by being a subscriber. I really like to see you back on my lives and watching my my videos, and I really enjoy it when people do so. I think all these little ghosts are so super fun and adorable, easy to make. We bake many yummy treats and many Halloween parties for all ages. Oh, that's so fun, Sophie. Marianne says, very cute, thank you. So I'm going to show them once more, and then it's time to end the live. You can always watch this live back because it will be available as a playback right away. Marcy says, can't wait to see what you come up with next, you're so creative. Thank you so much, Marcy, you're making me blush. Jacqueline says, they are really fun, thank you. Marianne says, that little kitty ghost, yeah, it's so adorable. I really like how you can add those little whiskers as well. And the little scar on the Frankenstein ghost. And I didn't really mention it, but the faces are all stamps you can stamp on the empty ghost body, so you can really mix and match. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed showing what I made, and again, if you make something inspired by this, be sure to post them somewhere so that I can see them. And I will be having a video going up on Friday if everything goes to plan. And a next live will be maybe the week after that. I have to check if that fits in my schedule. But I will post that on my social media as well. So thank you all for being here, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!